Welcome to the Story Lab. I hope you enjoy this story. Let's begin. I'm Paul, and it all started when I met Ashley at a party hosted by our mutual friend. From the moment I laid eyes on her, I was captivated. Her beautiful appearance and lively personality drew me in, and I couldn't help but fall for her. As we spent more time together, I started to see a different side to Ashley. She had a deep-seated disdain for people from lower economic backgrounds, and she would often make disparaging comments about them. At first, I chose to ignore these remarks, hoping that it was just a phase and that she would eventually grow out of it. However, my patience wore thin one evening when we went to a restaurant for dinner. Ashley's behavior towards the waitress was simply unacceptable. She spoke to the poor girl with such disrespect and condescension that I could no longer hold my tongue. I confronted Ashley about her attitude, and she was visibly shocked by my reaction. She started to cry and blamed me for overreacting. In that moment, I felt a pang of sadness. I cared for Ashley, and I didn't want to see her upset. So, I apologized, and we were able to move past the incident. But the experience left a lingering unease in the back of my mind. As Ashley's birthday approached, I decided that I wanted to do something special for her. I knew that she had been eyeing a particularly expensive Louis Vuitton handbag, and I thought that surprising her with it would be the perfect gift. However, this presented a dilemma for me. You see, I was working a regular 9-to-5 job at a tech company, and I had also been pouring my passion into a side project, an app that allowed people to sell their old, expensive shoes. I had been working closely with a developer to bring this app to life, and I had just enough money to pay them for their services. Ashley was well aware of my birthday plans, and she didn't hesitate to make her wishes known. She directly asked me to buy her the Louis Vuitton handbag and made it clear that she didn't want me to waste my money on any other gifts. I was taken aback by her bold and greedy behavior. As the day of her birthday arrived, I found myself having to make a difficult choice. Do I buy Ashley the expensive handbag she desired, or do I invest that money into my app project? Ultimately, I decided to prioritize my passion and pay the developer. I couldn't justify spending that much on a single gift when I had a promising business venture that could potentially change my life. On her birthday, I presented Ashley with a bouquet of flowers and a heartfelt letter. In the letter, I had written about my love for her and my desire to take our relationship to the next level by proposing marriage. At first, she accepted the gifts with a smile, but when I told her to open the letter later, her demeanor changed. She immediately demanded to know where the handbag was. I explained to her that I didn't have enough money to pay for both the handbag and the app development, and that I had chosen to invest in the app instead. This did not sit well with Ashley at all. She became furious, accusing me of choosing a shitty project over her. She told me that I would never make a single penny from the app and that I was just a poor bastard. The argument escalated, and Ashley ended up throwing the flowers in my face and ripping up the letter I had written. With tears in her eyes, she declared that I would never make her happy and that it was over between us. I was utterly heartbroken. I couldn't believe that Ashley had broken up with me simply because I couldn't buy her the handbag she wanted. It was a harsh reality check, and it made me question whether our relationship had been built on a genuine connection or just her materialistic desires. Determined to move forward, I threw myself into my app project with renewed vigor. I launched the app and started promoting it on social media, reaching out to potential customers through cold emailing and messaging. In the weeks that followed, I watched as Ashley's life seemingly continued to flourish. She started dating a new guy, and her social media was filled with pictures of them living a lavish lifestyle. I couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy, especially when I saw that she had finally acquired the coveted Louis Vuitton handbag. Financially, I was struggling, and the constant reminders of Ashley's newfound happiness only made things worse. I found myself on the verge of quitting and going back to my old 9-to-5 job, but then something unexpected happened. The next morning, I received a call from a prominent content creator who reviewed expensive shoes on social media. To my surprise, he had come across my app and was interested in investing in it to help take it to the next level. I couldn't believe my luck. This was the break I had been waiting for. The content creator, a well-known figure in the niche I was targeting, offered to not only provide the financial backing but also promote my app on his social media channels. It was the perfect partnership, as his influence and following would help me reach a wider audience and drive more users to the app. Without hesitation, I accepted the offer. We started working together, with me taking the lead on the technical aspects and decision-making, while the content creator focused on marketing, promotion, and user acquisition. It was a symbiotic relationship that was about to pay off in a big way. As the app began to gain traction, I poured my heart and soul into its development. I listened to user feedback, implemented new features, and constantly worked to improve the user experience. The hard work and dedication were paying off, as the app started to attract a growing number of users. The youth, in particular, were drawn to the app. They loved the idea of being able to buy and sell their favorite expensive shoes at affordable prices, allowing them to indulge in their fashion dreams without breaking the bank. The app provided a platform for them to fulfill their desires without the financial burden. Over the next 4 to 5 years, the app's success continued to soar. It had become a well-known and respected platform in the industry, and I had amassed a significant fortune from its revenues. I was able to purchase my dream house, my dream car, and even a private jet, a far cry from the struggling days when I had to choose between buying Ashley a handbag or investing in my passion project. One day, as I was preparing to board my private jet, my manager informed me that there were a few pictures of a woman who had requested to serve me on the flight. I was intrigued and decided to take a look. To my surprise, the woman in the pictures was none other than Ashley. I was immediately struck by a mix of emotions. Curiosity and surprise were the primary feelings, as I wondered what had brought Ashley to this point and what had led her to seek employment as a flight attendant on my private jet. I couldn't help but wonder about the changes that had occurred in her life since our breakup. Without hesitation, I instructed my manager not to reveal my identity to Ashley. I wanted to observe her closely and see how she would interact with me, now that the tables had turned and I was the one in a position of power and wealth. As I boarded the jet, Ashley approached me with a polite and respectful demeanor. Her tone was flirtatious, and she didn't seem to recognize me with my sunglasses and suit. I decided to play along, telling her to bring me a vodka. Ashley complied, pouring the drink and handing it to me. I sat quietly, sipping the vodka as she began to flirt with me, even going so far as to start massaging my shoulder. I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction in this moment as I held her hand and told her to back off. Slowly, I removed my sunglasses, and the moment Ashley saw my face, her expression changed dramatically. She was visibly shocked, staring at me with a mix of disbelief and recognition. "Paul, is that you?" she uttered, her voice trembling. "Yes, it's me," I replied calmly, taking a sip of my drink. Ashley was at a loss for words, unable to comprehend how I had become so wealthy and successful. I took the opportunity to remind her of our last interaction when she had dismissed my app project as shitty and accused me of being a poor bastard. "So, how did you manage to get so rich?" Ashley asked, her voice laced with a hint of jealousy. I smiled and explained to her that it was because of the very project she had disparaged. "It's the same shitty project that I chose over buying you that handbag," I said, my tone dripping with a subtle sense of triumph. Ashley was visibly uncomfortable, her face flushing with a combination of embarrassment and regret. She struggled to find the right words, unable to deny the role her own greed and materialism had played in the demise of our relationship. Seizing the moment, I decided to delve deeper into her current circumstances. "And what about you, Ashley? What brought you here, working as a flight attendant on my private jet?" Ashley's expression shifted, and she reluctantly shared her story. She explained that after our breakup, she had married the new guy she had been dating, only to have that relationship crumble when he became embroiled in a legal battle over a corruption scandal. The resulting divorce had left her financially devastated, forcing her to take on various side hustles to make ends meet. As I listened to her tale, I couldn't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction. "So, your greedy behavior has ultimately destroyed your life," I said, shaking my head. "If only you had been more humble and less materialistic, you could have had all of this." I gestured around the luxurious interior of the jet. Ashley's eyes filled with tears as she remembered the letter I had written her on her birthday, the one she had so callously destroyed. "I remember that letter," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. You proposed to me in that letter, didn't you? If only I had said yes, I could have had all of this. I couldn't resist the urge to laugh, the sound echoing through the cabin. Yes, Ashley, you could have had it all if you hadn't been so selfish and greedy. But instead, you chose to throw that opportunity away. Seeing the guilt and regret etched on her face, Ashley asked the question I had been dreading. Is there any chance? Any chance at all that we could get back together? I didn't hesitate in my response. Absolutely not, Ashley, I said firmly. You had your chance, and you blew it. Now, I suggest you get back to serving me my food. I'm done with this conversation. Ashley's face fell, and with tears streaming down her cheeks, she turned and went to retrieve my meal. The rest of the flight passed in uneasy silence, with Ashley serving me without a word, the guilt and shame palpable in her every movement. As the journey came to an end, I decided to give Ashley one final parting shot. You know, Ashley, I've moved on with my life. I'm happily married to a woman who loves me for who I am, not for my money. As for you, I hope you've learned to be more humble and kind to others. This is the last time you'll ever see me in your life. You were just a small chapter, nothing more. I handed Ashley a generous tip, which she accepted with a trembling hand. Thank you, Paul, she said, her voice barely audible. And I'm sorry for everything. I nodded, a sense of closure washing over me. I had finally put the past behind me, and I was ready to embrace the bright future that lay ahead, with my loving wife by my side. This is where our story comes to an end. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for your precious time. If you enjoyed this story, then please make sure you subscribe to this channel. That would help me a lot. Click on the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.